2025 was really the year of actually building the foundation for the new way that I have my offer suite laid out, my marketing ecosystem laid out, that shifted from the business model that I had before. And so now that the foundation has essentially really been built out now, we're going to put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, on visibility. And I'm going to share with you what that actually looks like. Hey, beautiful friend. If you're a longtime listener of the podcast who's been dying to work with me but hasn't pulled the trigger yet, I have an incredible opportunity to work with me for a fraction of the cost. If your estheticians can't explain your signature plans, or your new injectors panic every time they have to sell a high-ticket consult, it's not their fault. It's the system, or more specifically, your lack of one. That's exactly why I built Ask Heather AI, the first strategist level tool for aesthetic and wellness CEOs who want to scale with precision and stop flying by the seat of their pants. Inside, you get 3 powerful tools, each designed to solve the exact gaps that keep your growth tied to you. Turn your basic menu into a branded high-ticket signature offer suite your whole team can sell. Train every team member to lead premium consults with confidence, even if they've never sold a thing. Write magnetic messaging that attracts premium patients without sounding like every other clinic online. These are the same frameworks we've used to scale clinics to 7 figures and beyond, and they used to cost 5 figures to access. Now, you can have them in your back pocket. Try Ask Heather AI for 30 days and see what happens when you stop guessing and start scaling with words that work. Head over to heathertrevine.com/trial to learn more. Well, hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This episode is dropping in December sometime, and one of the episodes I did around the same time last year, and I forget the name of it, but we'll find it and link it up in the show notes. I actually shared my business plan and how I had shifted my business in 2024. And so in this episode, I'm going to be actually unpacking my business plan for 2026 and what my game plan is. And also, this will also serve as an episode of, like, if you've been wanting to work with me, I'm going to unpack the different ways you can work with me in 2026 as well too. So what's interesting is that it was the summer of 2024. So like a year and a half ago, I decided I wanted to shift my business model. So I wasn't shifting who I was working with. I wasn't shifting my frameworks really, but I was shifting the distribution of how people could work with me. And so in 2020, like at that time, up until that point, it had been about 2 years of the only thing I sold was MSA. And I was at this critical junction where I could keep doing what I was doing, which would require me to grow a sales team. I'd already started building a sales team, and I really sat down with my ads team. My ads team, we'd already like had the one salesperson I had was totally booked with our funnel. And they were like, look, we need to really grow your sales team in order to keep growing with the current model that I had. And so I made the decision, and I talk more about it in last year's episode of why I made that decision, what have you. Feel free to go back and listen to that episode. It was one of the most popular episodes, and I'm not even sure if download wise it was the most popular, but it was the most popular episode where I had so many of you reach out to me saying that you were so thankful for me sharing sort of my process, what my funnels look like, and all of that jazz. And so I made the decision that I wanted to create a business that looked differently than how it looked at that moment, and also than how other people were telling me I should build the business at the time. There's a lot of consultants and coaches in our industry and out of our industry that build businesses where they scale their sales team, they sell their coaching through sales calls, and then they scale the coaching team that they have as well too. And I made the decision that that is not how I wanted my business to actually look. And I actually discovered this when I was doing the 3-year vision planning process that I shared on a recent episode. You can go back and listen to that if you haven't had a chance. It's the episode before this, like 2 episodes ago. And what I discovered is that I didn't want a big, huge team of salespeople and coaches working under me, that I really wanted a small and mighty team. I still wanted to build an 8-figure business. That's where we're going, right? But I wanted to do it with a small and mighty team where the people that I worked with in close proximity, whether that was an MSA or private clients or what have you, were the smaller amount of my revenue, so that I could still work closely with clients, but still have offers that I could scale to reach a lot of people without me having to be the person that they work directly with. So what I did is I completely changed my offer suite. And it actually took me an entire 1.5 years to actually get this entire shift completed. And so today I'm going to talk about what my new business model is, what my offer suite is, some of the revenue, if you will, like how my revenue breakdown has completely changed since that summer as well. One of the things that I want to offer you is that it takes audacity to really grow. There's this word that's been thrown around a lot, being audacious and all this stuff. And when I think of audacity, historically, I've thought about the people that are the loudest, they're the most polarizing. And one of my coaches, Whitney Kronberger, shout out to her. She's my life coach that I work with. She offered this to me. She's like, what if audacity was just becoming more of your most fully expressed version of yourself? And so that's what I would offer to you. And when I really tapped into like how I want to lead, how I want to serve, what I want my experience of my business to be, it helped me get in tune with making decisions, CEO decisions, for how I created a business that really lived to serve that. Okay. So that I am creating a business model that helps me become the most expressed version of myself as well too. So part of me expressing myself more audaciously, if you will, is actually just sharing honestly the behind the scenes of my company and business. So for those of you who are maybe newer to me, I have this concept that I call the marketing ecosystem. And it lives inside of like the authority method, which if you don't have the authority method, it's one of our signature programs. It also is inside of, it's one of the key pillars that we do inside of MSA as well too. And the marketing ecosystem is sort of a mental framework for thinking about your business. Everything is marketing, right, in your business. And the marketing ecosystem breaks it down to 3 core areas. So there's the step 1 or the part 1, which is your front end marketing. Okay. This is how new people discover you. And there's all different ways that people can discover you, from paid ads to organic to referrals, from word of mouth to collaborations to PR, et cetera, right? So that is step 1 of the marketing ecosystem. Step 2 is the in-person experience. This is the experience that your patients and clients have and what that actually looks like when they are experiencing the delivery of whatever it is that you're offering, okay? And then step 3 of the marketing ecosystem is the internal marketing and follow-up that you have for somebody once they have become either an active customer, right? So they've actually come in and paid you, or they have opted in to your ecosystem. So they may have opted into your email list. They may have decided to follow you online or what have you. So with that in mind, I'm going to share with you what my marketing ecosystem looks like now, what my offer suite looks like, how I'm thinking about growing my business in 2026. We have some really audacious goals where 2025 was really the year of actually building the foundation for the new way that I have my offer suite laid out, my marketing ecosystem laid out, that shifted from the business model that I had before. And then sharing with you how we're pressing the gas pedal in 2026 to really create, we're going to grow by leaps and bounds visibility wise in a way that just wasn't the goal in 2025. We grew our revenue greatly, but we didn't really grow our email list and our visibility in the same way quite yet because we were building the foundation as we were still growing and what have you. And so now that the foundation has essentially really been built out now, we're going to put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, on visibility. And I'm going to share with you what that actually looks like. So if you are watching the YouTube channel, if you are listening to this on the podcast, just a heads up, we also have all of our episodes being video recorded. And then those episodes are being uploaded to my YouTube channel. If you go over to YouTube, you can find me, just type in Heather Trevine, subscribe, because some of our episodes, we do actually share visuals. And this is one of those episodes you might want to see the visual that we end up sharing. So the visual is essentially my entire marketing ecosystem. It's a funnel map of all of our offers and then the marketing and what it looks like, okay? And so I'm going to walk you through what our marketing ecosystem looks like, what our offering is, and the game plan that we have for 2026. And then in an upcoming episode, I'm going to dive into actually what I would recommend that you mirror what I'm doing when it comes to really having guaranteed success with your marketing ecosystem and what that would look like for what you are the key things that you need in your med spa, aesthetic practice, wellness clinic, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so as you can see on the left here, I have the front end marketing, okay? And in the front end marketing, we have the areas that we focus on specifically. So we focus on Meta ads, Instagram, our podcast. We now repurpose our podcast on YouTube, but I would not say I'm a YouTuber. I'm not creating original content with YouTube optimization in mind, but we are repurposing to YouTube, so I'm going to include it. And then we have our email list, okay? That is really it. But we are going big in those core areas. So that is our current front-end marketing. Now, within our front-end marketing, what are we doing to get people into our ecosystem? Like, what is the CTA for them to actually opt into our ecosystem? So we have smaller training, tiny offers, if you will. And we have a number of them. Some of you have purchased them. We have the multi-million-dollar menu masterclass. We have the 10K consult playbook. We have cash flow content. These are like our tasters of our bigger programs as well. And they help you actually get quick wins in each of those categories that are our frameworks for helping our clients. And so we actually have ads that run to these offers. One of the things we didn't do in 2025 that we will be doing in 2026. So if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I would head on over and follow me to make sure that you actually get these offers. I probably will mention them on the podcast from time to time too, but I recommend following me on Instagram too so that you don't miss out on any of these. Is we will be having a few different freebie lead magnet offers that hasn't really been a core part of our strategy beforehand. So we ran most of our ads in 2025 ran to our tiny offers. And then we had retargeting ads to our other offers that were larger than that. And if you don't know what I mean by retargeting ads, is we had our cold traffic ads running to tiny offers. Okay, those classes I just told you about. And those ads, by cold traffic, I mean these are humans who are new to my world and have not experienced us in any other way. So brand new to us, okay? Then we had retargeting ads that, yes, we had retargeting ads going to those tiny offers too, and also to other offers as well too. And what are retargeting ads? Retargeting ads are the ads that go to our warm audiences as opposed to cold audiences. So what is a warm audience? A warm audience, and according to Meta, is anybody who has engaged with our business in some way. So this could be somebody who's already seen an ad or engaged on one of our videos or ads, pieces of content before. Somebody who follow us or has engaged with us on Instagram. Somebody who has visited our website, right? We want to make sure you have that pixel on your website so that it's collecting all the website visitors as well. Somebody who's on our email list, somebody who has paid us before for something. Those are our warm audiences, people who have already experienced us. So we have different ads that go to those humans. Now, one of the key things we're going to do differently in 2026 is that we are going to increase our retargeting ad budget. A lot of our budget in 2025 went to those top of the funnel tiny offers that I'm telling you about. And a lot of, I mean, like too much of it, honestly, in hindsight, 90 to 95% of our budget went to the cold traffic ads. And we had a way smaller amount that went to retargeting and other nurturing or audience building advertising. One of the things we have had running in the background is we have had podcast ads going too. So I've had a tiny dollar amount every single month running to ads that were video reels of our podcast that linked out. So you could click on those ads and they would take you to a landing page that shared with you our top most popular episodes. And we actually strategically pick those episodes. And so that has been running in the background for the entire year. And I'm not sure we're going to keep that in 2026 because I think we have some other ways we could actually be growing our podcast listeners that might be more effective than that. But stay tuned. I'll keep you guys all posted on what that looks like. So that essentially is the majority of where our ad budget. Now, we did have 2 different events, live events that we ran ads to too. We had the Build an Unstoppable brand that we did in the springtime, and then Profit Engine that we did in the fall time. One of the mistakes I made in 2025 as a whole that we are shifting and making sure that we are accounting for with our ads and our ads team in 2026 is making sure we are growing our email list more rapidly than we had this past year. And so at any point in time, we will probably have ads running to 2 of our top of the funnel offers. Those two masterclasses will probably rotate through. We might test out some other masterclass ideas and offers to keep those fresh, if you will. And then we will have 1 to 2 really dialed in guides as lead magnets that we will be running ads to as well, that we will get a higher volume of people opting into our ecosystem, okay? So because we spent the large amount of our budget the last year on ads that go to those tiny offers, hang with me. I know I'm getting into the intermediate advance of my funnel, but I just want to really open the door, like the behind the scenes. So hang with me. And if you feel confused at all, you can let us know. Actually, email us at hello@heathertervine.com and just say, hey, like in this Heather's Business Plan episode, I just have a few follow-up questions. Let us know because I will incorporate that into future episodes so that you guys can understand. So we had, like I said, a lot of our budget actually went to those tiny offers at the top of the funnel. And because of that, because of so much of our budget going to cold traffic, those were really actually effective. And they did a great job of bringing people into our world from a paid perspective, but it limited how quickly we were able to grow our email list. And so our strategy, now that we have the foundation in place and we have the back end system that I'm going to share with you today, that we have. So once somebody is in our ecosystem, then we have the step 2 and 3 of our marketing ecosystem that is the back end system that ensures we are able to 10x our ROAS and even more, return on ad spend, for those of you who don't know what that term is. And I'm going to share that, but put a pin in that for a second. So because of that, we limited how many people we grew our email list by. Now, had I really thought through this, and this is part of I got some advice from our ads team we had in 2025. We're actually hiring a different ads team for 2026 and onboarding with them right now. And they're awesome, okay? The ads team that we are just saying goodbye to. But they aren't probably the best ads team. They're the best ads team to take us to where we got, but they're not the best ads team to take us to where we're going. And so in hindsight, I will not do another live event like that until I have grown my email list by many more thousands of people than I had at that time. Okay. That's a total sidebar, but I wanted to share that with you. And I just wanted, even if some of this is flying over your head, I just wanted, we talked about auditing your business in a recent episode, and this is why this process is so critical. I discovered the live launches, we had way more success with our evergreen funnels. And when I say evergreen, that's just a term that means the funnels that are always running in the background, that don't have an open and closed cart, that aren't limited time promotions, if you will, like a live launch of an event. And the evergreen funnels crushed it in 2025. And the live launches were just they weren't that great. And this is why. And it's because we hadn't grown our email list enough. And I discovered that because I took the time to actually sit down and audit not only our offers, but our marketing and the whole shebang. So take the time to do that reflection audit, my friends. So that's the front end marketing. So that is what it looks like right now. And then some of the things that we will be experimenting and playing with, if you follow along with us in 2026, is, like I said, we're going to have some really great guides and lead magnets that we will be running ads to as well. We'll be sharing them on Instagram too, which is why I want you to go over and grab them on Instagram so that you can opt in and check it out and see the behind the scenes. But also they're going to be guides that totally help you as well too. So we're layering that into our front end that is different so that we will be growing our list more rapidly. So we'll be growing our email list. I do want to say that, those of you who have the authority method or who are in MSA, that I am really bullish on creating guides that actually thread back to your signature offers. And if you can look at the visual that I have here, our guides and tiny offers at the top end of our funnel, so like those 10K consult playbook, cash flow content, multi-million-dollar menu masterclass, those thread back to our signature offers, and our lead magnets will too. But we're going to run some ads to those guides, lead magnets, if you will. But we will have, as thank you page upsells on those guides, our tiny offer masterclasses as well too. So even though we're running ads to something free, we'll also have a strategy in play where we will be collecting money at the same time for those that opt in to do that too. All right. So once someone, as you can see from the visual, has opted into one of those tiny offers, then they get dropped in to an email sequence on the back end that will partly nurture them to make sure that they actually watch and consume the thing they just invested in, right? And then Also, after about 2 to 3 emails of that, the rest of the email sequence sells them into our signature program. Okay. And so the respective signature program that makes the most sense, that's in alignment with what that tiny offer is. So for example, multi-million-dollar menu masterclass opts them into an email sequence that sells them into signature menus that sells. Cash flow content opts them into an email sequence that sells them into the authority method, and 10K consult playbook opts them into 5-figure consults. Okay. Now, what is new in 2026 is now each of those signature programs, we are actually going to be raising the price on them, and now includes 3 months of Ask Heather AI. So Ask Heather AI is something that I developed in 2025. Some of you are in it and loving it. All of our active MSA clients obviously get access to it. And this is our custom developed bot built on those 3 frameworks. So there's 3 different bots, and you get access to all of those bots for 3 months when you purchase one of our signature programs to actually help you implement in any of those 3 key areas. Okay. So once they've opted in, once they've purchased a signature program and you get the 3 months access to Ask Heather AI, then you have 30 days to apply that investment of whatever signature program that you have to joining us in MSA. So once you buy one of those signature programs, you get dropped into another email sequence that will actually let you know, and it's stripped out over 30 days, that you have the 30 days to apply whatever that investment is to your investment in MSA. Okay. Now, if you're hanging with me, okay, they get that. So this is all from the top end funnel, y'all. Okay. I'm going to be sharing with you in a future episode how you guys can do this too with your funnels and with your back end ecosystems, and how I would do it if I was an aesthetic practice or med spa. All right. Then, of course, they either join MSA or don't join MSA, right? Then after that, they haven't taken the option for joining us in MSA, which is fine, or if they do or they don't decide to take that incentivized opportunity, then they get another email sequence because they have 3 months access to Ask Heather AI. They get another email sequence right before the 3 months expires that gives them an opportunity to continue their membership into Ask Heather AI. So then they can stay in Ask Heather AI for as long as they want. And then MSA is obviously a 12-month program. And then after the 12 months is up in MSA, I'm just fully kicking you out. We have a VIP renewal for MSA that is incredibly irresistible. It is, you can stay in MSA for a fraction of the price if you stay in after your 12 months is up. Okay. So this is my full ecosystem. This is the before, the during, and the after, if you will, of once you opt in, once you buy in to become a client of ours, a customer of ours, how you can work with us. But this is how, y'all, you can strategically map out an offer suite and ecosystem that has all of these things happening in the background, so that if somebody opts in to your world in some way, how can you create an automated ecosystem in the back end that maximizes the opportunities for that person? Okay. Now, where we will be exploring a lot is in the front end part of your marketing ecosystem. And this is what I would offer to you. Now, the next episode, I'm going to be diving into what this might look like for you and your business. Okay. So make sure to subscribe and to tune into the next episode because it's going to be a juicy one. I want you to think about how my signature programs, Ask Heather AI, MSA, those are not changing in 2026. Those are my core offers. But what I will play around with and experiment with is the front end part of my ecosystem. Okay. Is the top of the funnel offers, are the guides, are the things that I'm doing on the podcast, and with my advertising. I may have another live event in 2026. We have some rules on how much my email list will have to have grown in order for me to do that, because I'm going to want to see like at least 3,000 new folks on my email list before I opt in. That's just the number I've decided. So stay tuned on that. So we will play an experiment at the top, but we know what our core offering is, how we help our clients get the most outstanding outcomes. What is my unique genius, our unique frameworks? These are where we are building our expertise, building our authority in our marketing ecosystem. So that is it, my friend. That is how you can work with us in 2026. There's some other things that I didn't dive into. We have private clients and some intensives that I didn't even unpack that are kind of sprinkled in there behind the scenes. But beyond that, this is the core foundation of our program, what we will be marketing, what we will be pressing the gas down on. What happened really revenue-wise in 2025 as compared to 2024 is in 2024 and before that, 80 to 90% of my revenue before was MSA. Okay, because that was our core offer. I still had some private clients and some other things I did behind the scenes, but that was my core offer for years. In 2025, 70% of my revenue was not MSA. Okay, the majority of my revenue was not MSA. That was the big shift from 2024 to 2025. And I love it for myself because I always want to have it be that the high proximity offers that I have are never the thing that is the core part of my revenue, because I want to work with humans who highly desire working with us, who've already maybe experienced my frameworks in another way, whether it's the podcast or one of our other programs as well too, so that I am filtering out the folks who just don't jive with our frameworks, my coaching, and what have you. So this flipped how people could experience us. The folks who come in now to MSA, who've bought a masterclass, who bought a signature program, they are so much more driven. It filters out those folks who maybe could have just emotionally been sold on a sales call. I know the majority of our industry, and the majority actually of the consultant coaching industry, sells their coaching through sales calls, especially higher ticket coaching, which is fine. That is totally fine. And there's people who do it great and what have you. But this time, this last year, our clients have blown our minds when it comes to their ability to actually implement and to show up. And that is because of the front end marketing that they had to go through in order to get there. So I hope you found this episode incredibly enlightening. If you loved this episode, first of all, would you subscribe and actually leave me a review to let me know? A review, for those of you who aren't paying customers, is the best way to show me your appreciation for me continually to work hard and put out these podcast episodes for you as well. If you have any other thoughts and comments you want to share with us, go ahead and email my team over at hello@heathertrevine.com as well. All right. So we're wrapping up this episode, but you will want to stay tuned and come back for the next episode where I'm going to share with you how you can incorporate this ecosystem into your ecosystem for your business plan in 2026. I will see you then.